Well, welcome to the channel today, guys. The world has gone off the rails. And today, it seems like the theme of our reality is jungle, spills, and thrills. That will be the subject of today's show as we go through the headlines and what's happened in the last 48 hours. We have politically incorrect Muppets. We're going to talk about tigers crashing in the woods and Ashley Judd going thud in the Congo while researching a bunch of promiscuous monkeys. So, you can't make this up. We're going to start with the Tiger Woods story. So, this is what his car looked like as he was driving all by himself, and he managed to wreck his car and break his legs. I don't know if they're broken or damaged or what is going on, but the fact of the matter is this happened on February 23rd, 223, which is in reverse 322, Skull and Bones. And of course, this happened on the 33rd parallel, as you can see right here. So, what does this mean? Well, you have to ask yourself, is this real? It probably is. But what's the message here? And that's what we're going to look at today. Notice the tiger in the woods. I think, let's see, what does ranch mean? Rancho Palos Verdes. Here's the place. And it's very woodsy. It's got a lot of trees in it. Verdes means green. What does Palos mean? Does that mean trees? I don't know. But there is definitely a theme here. Now, this reminds me of some other crazy car crashes that we've seen in the past with other celebrities that didn't make it out of these situations. And it makes you wonder, like, are these cars able to be controlled remotely? And was this intentional? I guess we're going to have to hear it from Wood's mouth himself once he recovers, how he lost control of the vehicle. We see these scenarios play out in fiction all the time. They talk about cars being taken over and people crashing. I was watching a series, can't remember which one, but basically the same thing happened. They took control of like the braking system and all this stuff remotely. So this is the problem with all this new technology, is that they could easily do something like this and nobody would ever know. So, let me go back and make sure we're okay, and we'll keep going with today's show. Got a lot of stories pulled up for you guys. All right, looks as though we're okay. All right. So, there's the tiger in the woods. Now, let's keep going with this, because here's where the plot thickens, because we've been covering Planet of the Apes. And what did we look at when we looked at that? Well, we looked at how the whole franchise of the Planet of the Apes was foreshadowing the shape of things to come. And in that franchise, the apes began to talk when they were given a VC. And it was supposed to cure the simian flu. And what happened was, as a result of the VC, apes began to talk, and mankind lost their ability to speak, and they became ruled by the apes in the far distant future. Now, in order to wrap your brain around this and understand it, know that the elite in the science community have this fascination with Africa, in the Congo, Kenya, all these places. And we've exposed some of these research expeditions that they've done. You know, these very secretive and highly funded expeditions where they go into these places. We saw the film The Lion King, and they were very, very concerned in making that as accurate as possible. So they did research expeditions into Kenya to look at that place. to find out what's going on so they can make an accurate depiction of the film. And my theory is that their whole point to all this is to turn us all back, or not back into apes, but into apes. They believe we evolved from apes. I do not believe that, of course. But they're trying to find the link so that they can adjust our DNA somehow to turn us into apes. Why would they want to do this? Well, it's to easily control us. Now, I can tell you this. There are a lot less well-informed and bright people being turned out in these latest generations than I've ever seen. There are less people doing artwork. There are less people, that can write. We've all been dumbed down as a society. So we are heading towards a planet of apes. And this will only continue to get worse as they begin to replace our society with all of these other things that make our life so easy that we basically get dumbed down even further. Look what we just went through with this quarantine and all this, locking us in our homes and making it so we could get food delivered right to our door. That sounds like an animal in a cage. And what was the whole purpose of that? Well, it seemed like some kind of practice run to get us isolated and caged and bringing us our food. There was actually a film that we had decoded some time back. I might re-upload that. And it's about a man and wife that get stuck in this neighborhood. And they start going round and round and round, and they end up at this house. And all the houses look exactly the same. And they basically get locked in this house, and they cannot leave the neighborhood. They are locked there. And they try to jump over the fences, and they try to find a way out. But it's like they're stuck in a maze. And every day their food comes in a box. They don't know who drops it off. But basically that was a foreshadowing of everything that's happening right now. What was the name of that film? Let me look it up. Film about a couple that gets lost in neighbor. Vivarium. Here it is right here. Now, I had decoded this when it came out in 2019, and we had talked about this being about what we're going through right now. It's interesting because this came out before CV19, but this was basically all about that. They get locked in. Let's look at some of the images on this so it'll jog my memory. They're locked in this neighborhood. They cannot escape. Vivarium. Here's them trying to jump the fences. And they're on the rooftops, and all they see is these pink clouds. And this is what we've all been going through for the last year. And they start losing their minds. They can't get out. They try to send a signal on top of the roof that says help, but they can't. This is our reality. And I can't remember the ending of this and how it ended, but basically they were part of some kind of giant experiment. Vivarium. Might be worth taking a look at that. If you guys see anything I missed, let me know. But I may re-upload this over the weekend or something. All right, let's get back into this, because this is crazy. We're going to break this all down. What all this means. This whole jungle spills and thrills. So, they want to turn us all back into apes. They want to find the gene that, because what they're telling us is that we're like 99.9% ape is what they're telling us, genetically almost identical. And so they want to find that 1% to just tweak our DNA to make us ape-like. And that brings us to our next story. Ashley Judd going thud in the Congo. Now, first, I didn't understand the psyop of this story. Took me a minute to go, okay, what are they really talking about here? She tripped over a tree and apparently shattered her leg. Now, I'm going to show you some images here. I've got Tiger here in the thing here. I'm going to show you some images here of after the break. And many of you don't even know who Ashley Judd is. She was a A-list actor back in like the 90s, I guess. maybe the 2000s. But basically, I'm going to show you some pictures here. And a person that had this kind of injury, I wouldn't even imagine that they could even be a lot, like awake. Here are the pictures. And this is apparently Ashley Judd's ritual event of her life, right? There's the leg. And they're claiming that it was shattered in multiple places. And they had to carry her out of the Congo in a 55-hour ordeal. Now, we're going to look at the numbers associated with that and why it was 55 hours and what this was probably really all about. Now, what was she doing out here? Well, she was out here researching the bonobo monkey. Here's the bonobo monkey here. Now I want you to remember this image because I have to click away from it, and I'm going to show you this image. And you see the positions are the same. What's this really about? Well, who is the bonobo ape? We're going to read about the bonobo ape because there are a lot of people very interested in the bonobo ape. Here's the website, the Bonobo Project. And they're looking at all of these different things: cognitive, behavioral, physiological, genetic, morphological, health research. Now, they were out there studying this ape, and as I begin to read about these apes, and you just remember the pictures I just showed you of the injury and the rescue, then it all hit me. These apes are known as Pan. Can't make this up. Pan-paniscus. They're from the genus Pan. And there's something really weird about these apes. They are pan-sensual, we'll call it, in their behavior. Males with males, females with females, oral, the whole deal. Multiple females, vice versa, group. And these are the only apes that face each other during the act. I'll show you a picture of that. So you know I'm not making any of this up. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of this, but I'm going to link this article and you'll see for yourself. This is what she was researching. So when I see images like this, to me this story's fake. It's got to be, because she's in the same position. So what are they doing here? Well, we're going to get into that, what they're doing, because I believe the whole point is that they want to make us all like this. This is the whole point of it. This is where our society is headed. Do what thou wilt. By studying these apes and what their behaviors are, their promiscuous behaviors are, then they can translate that over into humanity. And this is why I will never allow them to stick me with anything. Now, this all might sound disgusting to you, and it should, because the elite have some very bizarre plans for the human race. God says in the Bible, had he not cut those days short, there would be no flesh left. I think he meant natural flesh. I mean, look at all the pictures that she takes here. Who does this? She uploaded these on Instagram. I'm not picking on Ashley Judd, but there's something afoot here. So it was like a photo op. There's her allegedly in a lot of pain. Here's her being carried out. It was a 55-hour ordeal. She kept repeating that over and over. There's video of her saying that. And what does the 55 mean? Well, 55 or 5 is the Vitruvian man. I'm going to show you pictures of that after we go through these images of Ashley Judd breaking her leg in the Congo, tripping over a tree, which is just bizarre. It says here, She first revealed her injuries on Friday, February 12th. Well, that was the first day of Lupercalia, the wolf. Luper is the wolf festival, which is the animal, the dog, the mixing of dogs and humanity. During the ritual, they would wear animal skins. And they would run around with a flap of animal skin called a thong. And that's where the word thong came from. Because it's animalistic. It's a piece of leather. And they would run around, and this thing was called a februa. The thong was called a februa. And this is where we get the name February. And it was a fertility ritual. So they would take this thing and they would slap each other on the butt with it and chase them around in the hills of Rome. And this happened every year. And it was dog worship. They would sacrifice a dog, actually, and a goat. So there's much more to this than meets the eye, you guys. This was some kind of ritual. So what is the 55? Let's look that up. Vitruvian man. Here is the 5 images. So you got 5 points and 5 points. Man and ape. Let's see if there's a Vitruvian man with an ape superimposed. Somebody must have already thought of this. We can't be the only ones. There you go. The Vitruvian ape, Vitruvian man, 5 and 5. Now, this goes deeper because 55 and 55 is what? 110. What does that remind you of? Well, there's 110 stories in one of the 2 towers. Right? Joachim and Boaz. 110 stories each. And what did they do with those 2 pillars? They combined them into one. Into the one world tower. Now, it's interesting because this one world tower is going to appear in a new decode that I should have ready for you guys in the morning. And that is the magicians. Thanks to Ramsey who asked me to look at that. Because even though it was back in 2015, it confirms every single thing that we've talked to you guys about these portals. There are tree portals, mirror portals, elevator portals, library portals. Everything we discovered, it's all there. So I worked on some clips to put together a montage for you. Probably have that montage uploaded at the end of today. And then we'll have a full show on it tomorrow, like we're doing this morning. So, this has always been about the combining of the 2 pillars, the combining of the animal with man. So, this brings us to our next story, the politically incorrect Muppets. Here they are here. Well, this is Sesame Street, but this is the closest thing I could find to Muppets. So now we have gangsta Muppets that are just bad actors, right? Maybe we need to root them out and go after them politically, right? I mean, seriously, this is crazy. The Muppets? Come on. So this is the story. Now, I grew up on the Muppets, and let's read about this. Unreal. The Muppet Show now comes with a content disclaimer warning on Disney Plus. There's Jim Henson. Now, I'm not condoning, like, all these people are elite scum, and basically what they do is they set up and take things down. They're the builders, and then they destroy things. They do this on purpose, and then they profit off of it. This is how they operate. So I don't have any sympathy, but I did grow up on the Muppets, and I enjoyed it. And never once did I think it was offensive to anybody. But also, I was a Dukes of Hazzard fan, too. And I always wondered, like, my family would scratch their heads, because I begged and begged my mom for a General Lee, which was the car that they drove. So I was this little, well, okay, so now people are like, "Oh, you're not black, you're mixed." Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm not mixed. I guess I am, but I just have a lighter tone. So, but imagine me, a child, unaware of all this politically correct stuff. My favorite show on TV was The Dukes of Hazzard, and going to my family's house and them scratching their heads, going, looking at my mom, going, "What are you teaching this kid?" Right? Because I just thought the car was so cool, and it was, they would jump over the creeks with the car, and I would draw pictures in my flip book of the car jumping over the creek. It was the coolest thing. If you haven't tried that, you might want to try it. It's a lot of fun. Get yourself like a book, flip book, and like draw a car driving along the bottom and then jumping up in the air and then crashing. That was the best ever. But apparently, all that's politically incorrect now. Now, what was it about the Muppets that was cool? Well, the cool part about it was that it was very descriptive in displaying and portraying different cultures and attitudes and values. That was the whole fun of it. And how they exaggerated everything, right? Like Fozzie was just this, like, kind of what do they call that? I guess they call them tramps now, like a homeless person. And now that's all of a sudden offensive. So it's called comedy, you guys. And here's the hypocrisy. Hollywood will condemn something like this, but then promote much more appalling stars and attitudes and values. They parade out pimps, self-proclaimed pimps like Snoop Dogg. They regularly shame presidents, making fun of their personalities and the people who they represent. With these stereotypes, they do this every single day against people on the right, for instance. They shame and stereotype right-leaning people every single day. Now, let's read about the Muppets here in a second. And then after this, we're going to get into what the producers on The Bachelorette did to a woman, almost killed her. All right, so what happened here? Jim Henson's classic series, The Muppet Show, began streaming on Disney, but now comes prefaced with an offensive content disclaimer. This program includes negative depictions and/or mistreatments of people or cultures. The warning reads, "These stereotypes were wrong then and wrong now." You guys, what is our world going to look like? Kittens and balloons? Our world's going to look like a pop video. It's going to look like a Katy Perry pop video. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. That's code for it. We still want to make money off of it. The show, which ran for 5 seasons between 76 and 81, features a new content warning on 18 episodes. There's your 666 encoding. Including those guest hosted by Steve Martin, Peter Sellers, Kenny Rogers, Johnny Cash, Debbie Harry, Marty Feldman, among others. Each episode bears the 12-second disclaimer for a different reason, from Cash's appearance singing in front of a flag to negative depictions of Native Americans, Middle Easterners, and people from other cultures. But yet, that's okay to do against people that are right-leaning. Now, make no mistake, understand that we were fooled by this president. It was a honey trap to draw out people that are right-leaning, get them on his side, and then shame them at the end. That was all part of a plan of everybody at the top. But I'm also telling you that there is a double standard here. And it's intentional. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to enrage people on the right. Because it's just straight up hypocrisy right in your face. So don't take the bait. Don't buy what they're selling. Okay? Now, this is interesting. 2 episodes from the final season featuring guest star Brooke Shields and staff writer Chris Langham. I wonder what that was about, but that was left out entirely. So there must have been something going on there. Who knows? Last year, disclaimer warnings were also added to Disney films like Peter Pan, Aladdin, Jungle Book, The Aristocrats, Lady and the Tramp, Dumbo. Unreal. So, let's get into this last story here. Now, this is scary, okay? Because not only do they regularly shame people on the right, but they're doing what is called racial revenge. It's the racial revenge meme, okay? Now, listen very closely as to what happened on The Bachelorette. Apparently, she made a comment years ago. Let's read through this because I want to make sure we get this right. On Bachelor Monday night, this season's most controversial contestant, Rachel, was involved in a terrifying crash landing during her skydiving date with Matt James. Now understand that Matt James is African American. Okay? Now keep listening. Fortunately, she did not suffer any serious injuries. However, due to the controversy surrounding the contestant after photos of her attending an antebellum themed party surfaced, as well as multiple allegations that she bullied girls in high school for dating black men, Bachelor Nation didn't have much sympathy for Rachel following her accident. Now, if you're white, you're going to be really mad about this, but don't take the bait. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to not like black people based on this propaganda that they're putting out. They're trying to stoke a race war. Okay? Now, this is crazy. So, these are allegations from high school. So, these are just rumors. And that she attended an antebellum themed party, which this is very common in the South. That doesn't make you a racist if you go to one of these parties. Heck, I might go check one out as a black person when I'm over there. Just to prove to you that it's not about race all the time. There might even be black people that go to these antebellum parties. Now, here's where things get scary. So, I'm not going to show the landing, but here's the black and white meme here. And she literally she could have died or had a back injury. She could have broken her back. And look what the producers are doing. They told her skydiving instructor to have a rough landing. This is called the racial revenge meme. And I'm seeing more and more of this against right-leaning people. We heard it in comments of them saying they wanted to drone people. And look, the left actually condones and encourages violence against right-leaning people. We saw the Republicans call this out during the impeachment. And last time I checked, didn't the people on the left, weren't they against the promotion of violence against any group of people? Wasn't this condemned by the left? Apparently, this is another double standard. Now, this is crazy. Here, look at this is the racial revenge meme. Here she is watching the crash, sipping on her drink, and this is the kind of stuff that makes me sick to my stomach because as a black person, this is not helping us. Okay, this is not helping us. So, let me go back into the chat. So tomorrow, we're going to be back with the magicians. And so that ought to be an interesting show. I've already got like 10 clips already captured. And let's go into the chat here. I love you guys. This was a tough show. There's a lot of crazy subject matter. But I wanted to get this show up for you guys today. What do you guys think of all this? I'd like to hear opinion on all of this. Crazy. I'll zoom this up here so I can see you guys talking. Yeah, all these, like, everyone's wrecking into things. Look, this is probably not the end of it. I suspect that there will be more wrecks and accidents. This is just the beginning. Let that catch up. Now I'll put all these stories in the pinned comment, of course. A couple housekeeping things. If you see a banner go up under this video, please click on the 3 dots to the right of the banner and give your feedback to YouTube and tell them, look, this has nothing to do with what you're talking about, this video, so please remove this banner. You might even want to put something in there about this is a type of slander against this channel. Okay, that's something you can do. Also, I put a link to my backup channel just in case anything happens to this channel. Please go subscribe over there, and we might even start doing live shows over there, so you definitely need to be over there, because otherwise you'll miss the live shows on this main channel. So we're going to start doing live shows over there. Maybe one live show a week we'll do over there, okay? Probably a weekend one. And so that's called, I think it's Enter the Stars Reloaded. Not Reloaded, it's actually Unbreakable or Unstoppable. One of the two is the one I have linked to that we're going to go with. That'll be our backup channel. Get that channel up and running in case anything happens to this channel. So those are the 2 housekeeping items. Please do that. Some of you complain about ads on the videos. That's what helps to keep this channel going. So what you can do if you don't want to watch the ads, it's very simple. You just download the Brave browser. It's free, and you don't have to watch any more ads. And the Brave browser helps this channel too. So that's what you can do to not have to watch the ads. Please don't complain about the ads, because there is a solution not to have to watch them. All right. And we put a lot of work into this channel. So that's what's keeping us afloat for now. All right. Someone says the link's not working. Oh no. So I'll look at that. There might be something going on with that. Okay. And thanks for those of you that have signed up for the PayPal. That's really awesome. Some of you, the PayPal would stop or something. It's probably because you changed your card or your card expired. If you see that happening, just sign back up, I guess. Some of you have pledged monthly support. That's awesome. Link for that is in the description if that's something you're able to do, but by no means you're not obligated to. We're okay for now. It's just we got to think about the future, because YouTube likes to flip the table over when they want, change all the rules. So yeah, you can also do premium for YouTube, but what that does when you pay for premium, it just makes YouTube richer. Doesn't do anything to really help this channel. So the better option, if you don't like the ads, is just to sign up for the Brave browser. Yeah, a couple people noticed the link's not working for the backup channel. I'll try again with that, but it's also on the front of this main page. Just go under channels on this main page, and you'll see the backup channels. So what else do we have here? Yeah, it's crazy. Like every other YouTube channel you go to has ads on it, but for some reason people get really angry about it on this channel. Some people, not all people, of course, just some people. But there's a way around it, unfortunately. Cool. I can't wait for the birds to be born inside of the nest. The hummingbirds. Huba the hummingbird. I just named her that because it might even be a male. I don't know. Do males build the hummingbird nests? Anyway, Huba is its name. And it's building this nest on top of an electric extension cord. That's interesting. I mean, this thing is precariously placed there. And even the wind from its wings make the wire swing back and forth. Thanks, Blue. Thanks for the putting the link there. Enter Stars Unstoppable. I don't know why the link isn't working. Probably something YouTube's doing to prevent people from going to backup channels. I'll check it and try it again, okay? So, yeah, so I can't wait for the babies to be in there. And then what I'll do, once the babies are in there, I'll be very careful. I'll wait till mom is gone. But then I'll stick the camera like right next to the nest. And so when she lands, you'll see a very, very close-up image of the babies and mama or daddy when she comes in. I promise to be very careful. The way I got that last shot was I put a ladder and a box on top of the ladder, and I stuck the camera on it while she was gone. When she came back, she's like, what is this next to my nest? And she kind of flew around for a bit, and then she landed. She was fine. She didn't dive bomb me or anything. I think I got a nice hummingbird. Oh, built by a female. Thanks, Blue. All right. Yeah, people are like, that's a massive hummingbird. No, I just had it zoomed in. I had the camera like 2 or 3 inches from the nest. And you can get a feel for how big the nest is by looking at the extension cord. We all know what an extension cord looks like. And that's when you get the true perception of depth and size by looking at that extension cord. She's literally built it on top of the extension cord connector. And it's pretty amazing. So, all right. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to try to fix this link. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I heard a couple other people say it as well, that it took them to some weird site. And I don't know what's going on with YouTube. But I'll get that fixed. And please, everyone go to the backup channel and subscribe. I love each and every one of you. Have a great day. Be saved if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.